Did you know that our brains have a cringe center? Some people are willing to make themselves look incredibly ridiculous online, and they become all the more rich from it. How is this possible? Are clowns born this way, or do they earn their shoes? And if they do earn their shoes, who's polishing them? And can anyone be a clown? All of these questions will be answered thoroughly in the course of this video. Welcome to the circus. My name's Chris, a neurologist with a special interest in behavioral science, and today's topic is the digital circus and its clowns. Join me as we delve into the fascinating and ever-growing clown world. What makes for a modern clown? Is it the wig? Is it the nose? Is it the obnoxiously loud manner in which they lie, manipulate, and use whatever tricks at your disposal to grab your attention and turn it into revenue? You see, not all clowns are made equal. Sure, brain rot clowns are arguably less damaging to society than, say, political clowns or sexist clowns, but the concept remains the same. Grab attention by all means, pull it to yourself, and give absolutely nothing of substance in return. Just slop. In fact, it would seem like it's almost a fetish for the clown to waste the time of the viewer. But where do clowns come from, actually? Let's talk nature versus nurture. Were these people born with cringe immunity, or do they join the circus later in life, like a vagabond from a 19th century French story? To answer that, we need to talk about a little thing called the social learning theory. It was developed by psychologist Albert Bandura as a challenge to the belief that learning occurs only through rewards and punishment. His idea, which he also proved, was that people learn not only by being punished or by being rewarded for something, rather also by observing others perform a certain action and what the certain consequence of that action is. Now, what do you think happens when a bunch of people start spewing a litany, a tirade of misogynistic, offensive, and just general rage-baity content just to piss you off, just to make you engage with it, and all the while not only not getting banned from the platform but even getting rewarded for it directly? It's like the more they post, the more money they make, and the more money they make, the more they can show off with it. And the best part is that both people who admire them and people who hate them will engage with the content, which means money from all sides. Some people will actually see the Bugattis and the Maseratis the clowns have purchased, and two things will be learned from this encounter. One, that being a clown is profitable. Two, that if a clown can make money, two or more clowns can make money. And there it is. That, my friends, is social learning. Bandura also stated that should the role model have the same gender or even be perceived as high status by the viewer, it is even more likely that the role model will be imitated. Couple this with the current attention and effective economy that we currently have, and what you get is a real shit sandwich. By the way, as I was freshening up on this topic, I was reading about it once again so I can make this video, I actually realized that there is a thing called symbolic learning, which essentially means that you don't have to see the Bugattis and the Maseratis per se to imitate the clown. It is enough for you to hear about the clowns getting Maseratis and Bugattis for you to be incentivized by it. Such is the clown tax, the one that in 2026 we all have to pay. By the way, do you remember how much the Kardashians were hated back in the day, back when they first got famous? People were saying that they're incredibly toxic to society as a whole and especially to kids. Bandura's Bobo doll experiment in 1961 demonstrated that kids can actually learn aggression without even participating in it themselves, simply by observing an adult attack an inflatable doll. Children who watched the aggressive model reproduced the model's specific punches, mallet strikes, and verbal insults. Children in the non-aggressive and control groups showed almost none of these acts. So the next time you see another influencer out there blocking the street by dancing and doing all sorts of weird stuff in the middle of the street, you know who to thank. Now, of course, there's much more to this social learning theory that I'm letting on, but it's enough to note that it bears a lot of weight. So now we know that a lot of clowns actually join the circus later in life, but what about natural born clowns? Is one destined from birth to be a clown? Well, this is where it gets interesting. I mentioned at the beginning of the video that there is a cringe system on our brain, a cringe center of the brain. While disappointingly they were not actually named the core cringe centers of the brain, there are actually regions in the brain that are correlated with the awareness of self in relation to the others, as well as the other way around. Cringe can be experienced in two manners. Either firsthand, when you've done something cringe yourself and you want to go hide somewhere, like in a closet, and never ever get out of there, or when you experience cringe secondhand, which is kind of the point of this video. And turns out there are certain innate individual differences in these regions, which are sort of the equivalent of being buffed with cringe immunity from birth. The problem is that we can't objectively say what exactly is it that has more influence, the nature part of the clown or the nurture part of the clown. A lot of these structures actually fully form only when you're an adult, and these structures are also extremely dependent on the sort of upbringing you've had as a child. Was there trauma involved? Were there any attachment issues? But me personally, I think there's a clown inside of all of us, and it is our responsibility to hide the clown, because with great clownery comes great cringe. But how does the cringe center actually work? First, you have to detect the cringe, and second of all, you have to feel the cringe. Now, for us to be able to diagnose terminal clownery, I believe that a dysfunction in the second part of the system is needed. We can tell that these people can detect cringe because otherwise, paradoxically, they wouldn't be able to perform the clownery itself. That is why they're doing it. That is the entire point of it. They want to draw attention. If they didn't have a functional cringe detection, then they wouldn't be successful in the first place. But yes, the clowns do know what they're doing. And once they know that attention equates money, equates success, equates more money, the ability to feel cringe slowly fades away, and it is actually replaced with a sense of pride. Hell, they even start believing in it. They even start building psychological defenses around the clown persona. The most prevalent one is called moral disengagement, aka the justification and rationalization of immoral behavior. Everyone is doing it, bro. I'm just trying to escape the matrix, bro. My content isn't actually even that bad. Like, I'm just doing what others are doing, and so on. But a clown without spectators is like a gooner without goon content. So now it's time to turn the spotlight around. Because there is no circus without an audience. We like to point at the center of the ring and laugh, but we never stop to ask ourselves, why is the ring full in the first place? Why are we, the public, fully aware of just how damaging the clown is, incapable of looking away? Hate watching is certainly a part of it, but it's not the whole story. We are naturally hardwired to seek novelty and to detect inconsistencies, especially social ones. We are also obviously drawn to loud noises and to weird stuff in general. Basically anything that stands out, whether it is good or bad. Watching another person do something unexpected activates the social learning components of the brain, signaling that we have to pay attention to this certain individual. Our caveman instincts are kicking in, thinking it's protecting us from someone dangerous. Someone is straying from the social norms. The clowns are a potential threat, and we need to pay attention to them. We see them flexing, screaming, barking at women, doing backflips, and we too are enticed. Who wouldn't be? Their aura is almost magnetic. Why work that 9 to 5 that you despise when you can simply attempt to join the circus yourself? Some unfortunately lose control of the clown inside, and thus the cycle continues. Thank you very much for watching my video, and despite my hatred for the algorithm, there is unfortunately no way around it. For me to actually be able to make more videos and to reach out to more people, I would also ask you to engage with this video just like you would engage with clown content. Hopefully not with hate though. leave a comment. Just like, subscribe, share it with people who might actually think it's funny or original. And meanwhile, I'll try to come up with some more cool stuff. Thank you. Stay tuned.